Venus will be in Leo for over 4 months this year, which is much longer than normal, and it is due to Venus going retrograde. And even though Venus in Leo is arguably, or not arguably, everyone agrees that Venus in Leo is the best Venus placement possible, this is still, as I said, not normal. So this is what Venus being in Leo plus Venus retrograde in Leo means for you and your sign. First, we're going to get into what is going to happen over these 4 months for the collective, so you have a preview of that overall energy. Then we will get into what is going to happen for you over this 4 months with your sign in particular. It's crazy I'm doing a Venus and Leo video because about a year ago I was in Vegas for the first time doing a Venus and Leo video on, I just remember it so well, like so well doing this video, so it's really weird to be doing it now. But I am always happy to talk about the best Venus placement, because if Venus is values, our aesthetic taste, love nature, the way that we show appreciation in the world, Leo is the most dramatic, performative, over-the-top, elaborate placement for that possible, because Leo is ruled by the sun. The sun is the center of the solar system. It lights everything up. It is extra. It is fiery. It is intense. So Venus and Leo, their love nature, their way of dressing, their way of expressing themselves tends to be very flamboyant, very rainbow, very zesty. And as someone with Venus and Leo, I don't think that this is hard to see, basically, with just everything I do. I also find that Venus and Leo tend to have an eye for horror or just like gore type things. I think because that's something you can be very over the top and intense with. But Venus will be in Leo from June 5th until October 8th. Because of the retrograde happening July 22nd to September 3rd. Now, with Venus in Leo for the collective is going to bring out the theatrical, performative, very over-the-top nature of how to get things done and do things, especially in love and relationships and money. Then Venus being in Leo retrograde is going to be a revision or in reanalysis, rethinking that. So retrogrades are always times when the planet appears to be going backwards in the sky. This is not possible, and it has to do with the way that our orbit lines up with Venus's orbit. To make it look like it's going backwards, it can't actually go backwards. Pro tip also is that retrograde means backwards, which means that a planet can never be in retrograde. That would be like saying in backwards. A planet is either retrograde, like it is either backwards, or it's not, which it never is, but it can be retrograde because it can look backwards. Basically, Venus retrograde is rethinking values, rethinking love, reconsidering how we really care about that area of our life. So Venus retrograde is going to mean that for a lot of the summer, it's going to be like amazing in that area of our chart. Then because of that progress and that care and attention, we're going to have about a month and a half of rethinking what those values really mean and how we want to have that stability moving forward in that area of our life. Because Leo is a fixed sign. Fixed signs want stability, they want groundedness, and they want reassurance of that being a foundation. So Venus and Leo, even though it's theatrical and performative, doesn't actually want the breakup, it just wants the drama. It wants at the end of the day like a high five after shit goes really dramatic or very soap opera-y and intense. So Venus and Leo wants the dramatic love or the fullest version of that area of our life. It does not actually want disruption or things to change. So Venus retrograde is probably going to be around stepping back to rethink what exactly we want the drama or the entertainment to be about. So Venus is direct in Leo until July 22nd. So from June 5th until July 22nd, Venus is direct, meaning that it's pretty straightforward. This area of our chart is getting a lot of love, attention, and care for what we want to feel good around. And I will get into that area of your chart at the end of this, like I said. On June 5th, however, as soon as Venus enters Leo, it will immediately oppose Pluto, which shows manipulation or games of power and paranoia. When this video comes out, you will probably either just be seeing that or like just experiencing that, or this will be a little bit after and you'll be able to go back and look at what's happening with that. But by any share it, whether this has already happened or you're watching this as it happens, early June there's going to be manipulation and games of power in relationships because Venus opposite Pluto is quite manipulative and quite intense in relationships. I can already feel this with just many different relationships in my life where I'm like, are they manipulating me? Like, what's going on here? Like, I'm suspicious of everything, and I don't like that. I really don't like that. As someone with Venus and Leo, like, I'm not suspicious and not manipulative. In fact, people waiting a long time to text, I'm like, fuck you. Fuck you for thinking that you can play some game around. I'm too busy. No. Moving on. You wait too long, you lost your chance kind of thing. And then on June 11th, Venus will square Jupiter. Whenever Venus and Jupiter are in an aspect together, it's very positive and shows a lot of optimism and a lot of abundance. So June 11th, 10th, 11th area, really positive, very abundant, very, very like a bright energy, very, very abundant energy. Then on July 2nd, Venus will square Uranus. Venus squaring Uranus shows disruption, chaos, and shocks in relationships and in money and in values. So Venus squaring Uranus early July is quite chaotic, quite shocking, and quite disruptive in a straightforward way. Now on July 22nd, like I said, Venus stations retrograde. So the second half of July, as Venus is slowing down and then going retrograde, will show the revision or the analysis of the Leo house in our chart. We've had all this progress, we have all these values now. What are we now rethinking that we might want to change? Because on August 8th, Venus retrograde will square Uranus again. It will again go back to squaring Uranus. Retrograde squaring Uranus shows we're rethinking things, and that's where the disruption, the shock is coming from. In that revision process, we're like, oh my God, I need to look at this, I need to rethink this, I need to revise what I'm actually caring about around that. In a shocking way where it's like, oh, as I take a deeper look, I am surprised at what I find. It's not the initial square where it's like, oh my God, this is disruptive. It's like, oh my God, I looked deeper and like this is even happening too. Then on August 13th, Venus retrograde will cross the sun in Leo. This shows this shows information coming to light or really understanding what exactly you're rethinking. There's a period of like brightness or illuminating the idea. You care about this idea and you're getting more clarity around the 13th. Then on August 22nd, Venus retrograde will square Jupiter. This is very positive. Shows that the internalization, the rethinking is going very well and you're having a positive benefit from it. Then on September 29th, Venus will square Uranus when it is direct. Then on September 3rd, Venus goes direct, which means that September 3rd onward, things in that part of your chart will begin to make more sense, be more straightforward, and be more easy to implement. And in the second half of September is when things will really be easy, because that means it's getting out of shadow and becoming much more quickly moving in the sky. Then on September 29th, Venus will square Uranus for the final time direct. There will be a final shock or a final disruptive event in this area of your life on September 29th. That is my brother's birthday, which is interesting. He does not have Venus in Leo, but he has his moon in Leo, so that will be interesting. But all of this is to say that Venus in Leo is theatrical, it's performative, and it's going to show a lot of care going into one part of your life this summer. From late July to early October, or early September, from late July to early September, that retrograde is going to show rethinking those values. And throughout that period until October when Venus leaves Leo, there's going to be a lot of shock and disruption because of that square to Uranus. So it's not all good, it's not all bad, it's neutral. But Venus in Leo is fun, and this is quite a dramatic transit. So now let's get into what it means for your sign. If you are a Leo rising, this will all be by rising signs, by the way, because all horoscopes need to be read by rising sign. If you're new here, just search horoscopes rising sign Maren. All the videos coming up explaining, they'll come up for you. If you're not new here, I'm sure that you understand that by now. But for Leo risings, this will be in your first house of self, meaning that you're going to be coming across more attractive, more aesthetically harmonious, prettier, charming, having this charisma. Whenever Venus is in the first house, it is amazing for getting what you want and attracting the most beautiful things that you want, reflecting of yourself kind of thing. So Venus in Leo for like 4 months, oh my God, lucky Leo risings, you get all that. Venus retrograde, yeah, might show that you're rethinking your appearance, rethinking your character, rethinking how you put yourself in the world. But overall, Venus in Leo for this long is amazing, so lucky you guys. Now, if you are a Virgo rising, this will be in your 12th house of mental health, addictions, and spirituality, meaning that you're probably having a lot of beautiful spiritual meditative experiences and really going inward to refine your mental health and your well-being. You might also reconsider things that you're dependent on or your spiritual practices in general into what really matters for you. If you are a Libra rising, this will be in your 11th house of networking and friends. Very social summer for you. You're out and about and making a lot of connections. You might then have to refine them or rethink who the people are that you're really associating with later on this summer. If you are a Scorpio rising, this will be in your 10th house of career. So it looks like work is going really well for you this summer. You might have to reconsider what you really value or the path that you want to go after with your choices in that as you progress. If you're a Sagittarius rising, it's going to be in your 9th house of foreign travel or higher education. This might be a European summer for you of a lot of travel or just going elsewhere around the world. Could also be a very studious summer for you, and with that progress in either travel or study, you might have new values that you're looking to implement and change. If you are a Capricorn rising like myself, this will be in your 8th house of finance, investing, and occult or sensitive information. This shows a big focus on probably making money through investing or receiving an inheritance or assets over the summer. This could also show a very magical summer of a lot of focus on like the occult or the esoteric. Venus retrograde can show that you're rethinking your finances and your investments, or you're rethinking your magical practices or attachment to occult practices. If you're an Aquarius rising, this will be in your 7th house of relationships and partnerships, showing a summer of love or a summer filled with a lot of focus on committed relationships of all kinds in your life. Venus retrograde might mean that you rethink the status or the condition of these relationships, or one in particular, with the values you're sharing with this person. If you're Pisces rising, this will be your 6th house of physical health or coworkers. This is definitely going to be a like wellness girl summer kind of thing, where you might be really focused on your health, your well-being, or also working on things regarding like managing other people at the workplace. So Venus retrograde could be that you're rethinking your diet, exercise, wellness regimen, or you're rethinking the people you surround yourself with at work and what you really value that you can change with that. If you are a Aries rising, this will be in your 5th house of dating, creativity, and kids. So more than likely, most of you are going to be having a lot of fun this summer with dating and with creativity and art, and then you have to rethink some of those things as they progress July, August. For some of you, this is going to be related to kids, but the majority of you not going to be focused on kids and then revising, rethinking something around kids, but some of you might be. If you are a Taurus rising, it's going to be in your 4th house of home and property. So there could be a big focus on renovations or getting a nice house, and then having to like renovate, like I said, or redo things around the house. Or it could be a big focus on family and then having to renegotiate the values of what you prioritize with your family this summer. And if you are a Gemini rising, it's going to be your 3rd house of communication, content, and writing. Could be a very busy summer of a lot of content writing and putting things out into the world, and then having to revise or rethink some of that written work later. And if you are a Cancer rising, this will be in your 2nd house of income and money. So you're probably making more money or focusing on money a lot this summer, and then having to revise that budgeting, that spending, how you're making money later on as that grows. So for everyone, this is going to be quite a dramatic area in that area of your life, which if you have Venus and Leo like me, I have Mercury, Venus, Mars, and Leo, so it's not just Venus. It's like, if it's dramatic, if it's colorful, it's entertaining. For the plot, always. Oh my god, always for the plot. No argument ever. So I'm here for it. I'm wondering how exactly my financial situation is going to be so entertaining this summer. Well, please be kind to me. I can use some gentleness, universe. If you have any thoughts, any predictions, any comments around Venus and Leo this summer, please do let me know down below. And I will see you in the next one.